Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Big J. Welcome to my channel. I normally post about music, guitar playing, that type of stuff mostly, because that's really what I'm passionate about. And I really just wanted to do a video that's a little bit different. I wanted to actually use my voice and talk about something that matters, because it's awesome making guitar videos and it's awesome making music, but it's also awesome to talk about things. And recently I've just been thinking a lot about life and what we are doing here in this world nowadays. It just seems like over the last couple of weeks and months in general, things have changed in a sense. And I don't know. I've always, been a worker. I've always been a part of the middle class, part of the lower middle class, because, I spent most of my time working in the restaurant industry. And that's, what, the employee base consists of is, lower middle class people. So I've always been kind of tapped in with, just, people in general and like how people are feeling. And, I definitely think that things have been a little bit, just not good recently, because it seems like we're just so divided, all of us. And if the goal is to divide us, when it comes to like the people who are in power, if their goal is to divide us, they've definitely won. But that doesn't mean that things are necessarily over for good. I think that we could still all come together under certain circumstances and help each other and try to be better, in our individual lives, because if enough people try to better themselves, then everything gets better, everything will get better. But lately I've been thinking about life specifically pertaining to work. I don't know if it's because I just recently started watching the show Severance on HBO, or no, it's on Apple actually, yeah, Apple TV. I started watching the show Severance. So I don't know if that's the reason why I've been thinking about life, like I said, pertaining to my work life specifically. But like I mentioned before, I worked in the restaurant industry for a lot of years, and it was horrible. It was definitely taxing on me physically, mentally, emotionally, in so many ways. And I'd say I probably worked in the restaurant industry, to be fair, from like 17 years old to about 28ish, and that's when I basically decided I was going to switch to doing something a little bit different. So I decided to start looking for jobs outside of the restaurant industry, and this was a hard process for me because, number one, all I had was my restaurant experience, and number two, I didn't know exactly where to look. But after trying a lot and filling out a lot of applications, I eventually found a much better job in a different industry, doing something a lot better and a lot easier. And I work remote, and I'm definitely more than blessed to have the opportunity that I have currently. But in the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my soul, like, I just wonder like what we're doing every single day. Like, we just wake up and we just work 9 to 5 every day, and we never question the things that have been happening in our lives. We just go along with it because this is what we've been doing basically forever. And it's crazy to me how many people, because once I got out of the restaurant industry, I was working in an office for a couple months, And with this company, there was quite a few people. There was definitely a lot of people. And it was interesting to me how many people just go to work every day and just shut off their brain, almost like in Severance. But in Severance, obviously your brain is like really shut off from the outside world. But in a sense, people are doing the same thing in some of these offices I work at. They just go in, and even though they're unhappy outside of work, they just shut off their brain, and they never work on themselves, because all they do is just work 9 to 5 every single day. And at what point do we start prioritizing ourselves? At what point do we start taking care of ourselves as human beings? How loyal are we to this lifestyle that we live? Are you willing to sacrifice, your emotions and your life and all your time to a company just to be one of the lower workers, to be one of the middle class? At every company I've ever worked at, I've always seen management and the higher ups, doing just fine financially, and they always, show that in ways pertaining to materialistic items and materialism. And while I think it's, awesome to be fortunate and to, be well off and to, be successful, at the same time, a lot of people out here, are struggling. And like I said earlier, the workers are the lower middle class. We are the people, the middle class, lower middle class people. So, all in all, I guess what I'm trying to say is, at what point do things change for us? Like, just as a society, like just in society in general, at what point do we get a break? At what point do we have the opportunity to prioritize our health and prioritize ourselves over these companies where clearly management and clearly the higher ups are doing just fine, while the people at the bottom are struggling? And I've been working for a long time now, and I've met a lot of type of people, and like I said, right now is definitely a divided time in our world for sure. This is probably the most divided time in our world that I've ever seen. Like I said, I'm almost 30, so that I've ever seen in my life. But I think that if we were able to come together with the goal that, at the end of the day, we all just want to break. We all just want to think about ourselves and escape this, I don't even know what to call it, this lifestyle that they've got us pinned into so that we can afford to survive. If we could all come together, I feel like things would just be a lot easier. So I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that, and I'll just say, before you think about, casting off people, and, before you think about judging other people, just remember that we all have to come together if we want things to be better for all of us, essentially. But that's all I have to say, and I hope you guys have a good day.